Okay. Well, we were launching out on a talk about these here chickens back home on the farm up there in Canaan, Maine. And I tell you, we had ourselves a batch of fine little Rhode Island Reds, and this one was a setting hen, and she had appointed herself to be a setting hen. The rest of them just laid eggs. She laid her eggs in a batch, and she settled them, and she hatched them. And she was one of the most protective mamas I ever seen in my life. And she'd get ferocious. It wasn't man or beast. It didn't make any difference. She'd jump on them. And at the same time now, we had ourselves an old sow there. And she's about a 500-pound pig. And she had an appetite for chickens.
Uh-oh.
Little chicks. She didn't, grown ones, she didn't bother them. But little chicks, she'd gobble them up like, and so here's Mama setting hen, and she's in the chicken coop we got just for her. And there's an opening, so-so. They don't say so there, but it's so-so. And so this one day, here comes the sow. The mother hen had just, setting hen had just hatched out about, I guess maybe 15 or 20 little chicks. And they were making quite a racket. And that old sow buried his head into that chicken coop and started eating on that chicken. And I tell you, before she get his head in there, that old mama head come out of there. I mean, like gangbusters, and went all over that 500-pound pig, And she just doing everything she could. And lo and behold, she couldn't do anything for him because you're not going to hurt a setting hen's not going to hurt a pig that much.
Right.
And so my mother was in the house, heard it, and she come running out, and she saw our baseball bat over on the side like that. And now she was a strong woman, you understand. And she grabbed that old baseball bat, she squared off behind that old pig, and I mean she let him have everything she had. And you could hear that squeal all over the countryside. And to make things worse, the pig tried to back out because she knew she was in trouble. She tried to back out, she got her head stuck, and she picked that chicken coop completely up. And she just started running. She didn't know where she was going. She couldn't see anything.
Right.
And squealing and carrying on. And my mother was behind him with that old baseball bat, and about every other step, well, she wobbled again, And when she did that, you get the squealing, again.
Oh, my.
And if you ever heard such a racket in all your life, And finally, the old pig, she let the chicken coop dip down. And when it did, all that weight behind it broke that chicken coop up, and she come out of it,
Uh-oh.
And my father took about a day and a half to find that old sow. She was still running the last thing we knew, and squealing all the time, And when my father got home, he says, "Where's the sow?" And my mother said, "Well, last time I saw him, he's going over that hill over there." And so they managed to catch him and bring her back, But I do believe, as far as I remember now, I don't believe that old sow ate another chicken the rest of the time she was there. She lost her appetite, I guess you might say.
Is that same
Wow.
chicken that Skip was scared of?
Oh yeah, some folks they're afraid of chickens.
Yeah.
Well, Skip, my oldest brother, he was scared of anything that had feathers. Well, it might have been a little robin or anything. He was scared of anything that had feathers. And of course we would have this Rhode Island red rooster that just enjoyed. I think they have an instinct too. If they know somebody's scared of something like that, they're going to do something. And so it would ambush my brother when he'd go out past the chicken house. It would get up on top of the chicken house, and I tell you what, I know that old rooster knew that here was coming somebody he could tackle.
Yeah.
And he'd land on top of my brother, and I mean, he'd start hitting with those wings, and my brother would take off, waving his arms like that, and screaming like crazy. Well, he did that several times. But this one day, my father was out there, and he came out, and he started to go past, and that comes that old rooster and land on him again. And my father ran a couple of steps, and he long-legged fast. He reached out there, and he got that old rooster by the neck, and he wound him up like a windmill. And he threw him over to us, and he says, "For the pot tonight." We had chicken that night.
That's
a rooster, in fact, you might say.
funny.
But that was your pet.
Yeah, that's right. I raised him for a chick too. That's what. And the thing it was bigger than any other one because I would have to feed the chickens, and I always gave him at least double, triple portions, and of course he got bigger and bigger, and
Yeah.
and it stood out all the rest of them.
Wow.
But
Was it good? Did it taste good?
I don't know. I never had it.
You didn't want to touch it. That was your baby. That's right.
No, sir. I spent too much time getting him fat like he is. I ain't about taking the.
And also, I know you loved your brother, but I bet it was kind of fun to see your older brother be afraid of something.
Well, there's just some kind of a perverseness that's in the person, They just enjoy watching your brother run down the lane with that old rooster on top of his head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But